Hi everyone, it's Ann from Martin House Flowers. Today I wanted to do some container planting. I received my Meyer lemon tree from fastgrowingtrees.com. I have never ordered from them before, so it's my first time I've ordered a tree from them. It's a Meyer lemon tree, as I mentioned. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 feet tall. I think that's pretty accurate, and it cost around just over $100, and they did have a coupon for first time customers. So that's my testimonial so far. It's I've only had it, this is just my second day. They packaged it really well. I can put a picture of the box that it came in. It was a nice surprise at my front door yesterday. So I after receiving it, I went to Home Goods and I picked up this glazed winterized clay pot, and it's in white because I'm collecting mostly white pots to go into my white greenhouse. And so it's about 18 inches, I think, in diameter, and it's not that heavy, which is good. I can move it around if necessary. And I didn't get a plate for it underneath because it will sit directly onto the gravel base there of the greenhouse, and that will be nice. So as you can see, there's about an extra 4 inches all around that will give this tree lots of room to grow. So in terms of its growth habits, this lemon tree requires full to partial sun, and it can even be kept indoors next to a bright window. And it will grow to 8 feet tall and 4 to 6 feet wide. So looking forward to that. I imagine, like most fruit trees, it might take 2 to 3 years to actually bear fruit. So over here in this is my kind of waiting zone of pots. You know how you get all those extra plastic pots from annual containers you buy from Costco or big box stores. I've got a few of them here. This nice galvanized metal one with the copper handles that I picked up at Menards. I really like it. Has a drain. That English daisy I planted pretty early, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't look that great. Getting some weeds growing in here. I'm gonna weed that. I'm sure it's just grass seeds. So not sure. I think I'm gonna plant some other maybe some thyme around it, because it's looking kind of sad, honestly. I've always liked these. I've picked them up every year, put them in a container. Maybe they don't like being in containers. I don't know, but there's some new growth there, if you can see, which is good. Keep it watered every day. Maybe I need to feed it. I think I'm going to put some of that slow release Proven Winners fertilizer. So here are my 1, 2, I have a third one over there. Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas that I picked up to plant. I've decided to go in back behind the greenhouse, and so they're just sitting here waiting until the greenhouse is further along, that my husband doesn't think he'll need to potentially step on them as he builds a greenhouse. So they're budding out nicely, definitely a little more pink. So I'm going to pick up some aluminum sulfate or some espoma. It's more the natural stuff. So some of these buds have already finished, but I'd like it to be more blue like that, or even like some blue and some purple. Aluminum sulfate. I have this, which I don't think I've opened it yet, that I've read could potentially burn. So I'm going to get some more of my proven, or sort of the espoma, I forget what it's called, but it's the espoma version of aluminum sulfate that will, organically turn your hydrangeas blue and make your soil a little more, increase the pH level. And and make it more acidic. So I think that's what I'm going to do with these new ones. So waiting to plant out, and I've been hardening off for a few days now, are my alyssum. This is alyssum royal carpet and carpet of snow. So I have some purple and some carpet of snow white. So I have 4 there, and I have this extra one. I have to find a spot for it. And over here I have the royal carpet and the purple and the pink and carpet of snow. Actually, these are all royal carpet, so they're all going to be the purpley. So unfortunately I don't have thinking maybe I'll put one of the white ones in, just so it's a little more symmetrical. What do you think? Or should I do all purple? Might look odd with 1 white and 3 purple. So yeah, let's just go back to having all purple over here, just for a little ground cover underneath my standard boxwood. So over here are some extra snapdragons that I put in a container in a pot. This is that 3rd Let's Dance Sky View. These really love water. They need to be watered daily, especially when they're first getting established. I have 5 out front that are in the ground, and they need to get watered daily. They are wilted. If they wilt very easily if they are thirsty. So over here I have some African daisies, or sorry, yes, they're the white ones with the blue middle, and I believe some balloon flower around the edges, around the outside, and then might be the poppy in there. So we'll see what happens. I guess I forgot to mark those. So these are pansies that we grow from seed. We grew from seed, and they're finally just blooming when most people are pulling out their pansies, but I'm not one of those people. I have babied these baby pansies, violas, for quite some time. They came from Baker Creek, and they've taken this long to finally bud, and I'm going to keep deadheading them to make sure that they have excuse me, a happy growth season this spring and early summer, until I can't take it anymore. So my tulips that were in here are ready to get cleaned up. I'm going to pull these out, dust them off, take the bulb with the greenery, and just put them in a paper bag and keep them in a cool, dark place like the basement until the fall, when I will trim off all of the foliage and then put them in the ground. So that was what Klaus Dalby, who is the master of containers and cottage gardening, that's what his advice is. I followed his directions. I had put some gravel at the bottom of my containers, have some nice fresh potting soil in there, and I kept these in the garage. The nice thing or surprise thing about this is I picked these up, these containers, these pots, from Facebook Marketplace over the winter. So these did not get planted out till probably January, and they were in the garage. And then I think early March, late February, they started budding out. They were out about 2 inches, leafing out 2 inches from the soil, and I brought them out here, and they survived. The grape hyacinths over there also survived around these really lovely tulips. So I'm going to do the same thing there, and I'm going to plant out my Supertunia Vista and Supertunia White in that container, because that is promising to explode and be a really amazing mound of color. So I did plant some African daisy seeds around here, hoping that's what that is. These little seedlings, I'm going to let those grow. I thought I did the same here, but not seeing any seedlings. So, and there's our Norway spruces that were at our front door and sit out here all summer. Last year I had some white light, sunshine, and patience surrounding the base, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't want to share the soil this year because it's already filled. The base of this tree has filled the base, exceeded the base, the diameter. So I think I'm just going to let that have its own soil there. Maybe I'll put some gravel. I don't know. So there's a look at our raised beds. Luckily you can't see the ones behind my tall ones that are not completed yet, and my ghostly trees, fruit trees, getting ready for the invasion of the cicadas. So yeah, it started to sprinkle earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and start working on this and take you along. Thanks for joining me. So what I do is I feel around the container so I get it to the height that I want, and I know how much soil I need. I might end up using most of this bag. And I did water the lemon tree yesterday when it arrived. Let it sit here. So that's the height that I wanted at. And then I just pull the tree out. Oh, it's not very. Throw the soil that it came in. That's a good level. Is it straight? Is it straight?
Yeah, looks straight.
Good. And that one's done. I'm going to put some plant tone around here and water it in. But that one's pretty much done. And then these ones, I got this from the local high school at their horticultural greenhouse. I only picked up one, so I'm going to stick that one in front of this African, or this English daisy here that's looking very sad. And these are some ageratum that I grew from seed, and they grow to really pretty little blue, purpley blue fuzzy annuals. Look at the nice roots. So they get really big and mounded. So this potting soil that was in here was just put in this spring, so it's fresh. I'm going to put 4 or 3 around here. Listen to that wind. And then this will trail. This is a potato vine. And there's actually also a little, I should have split that. But it'll grow nicely in there. That's a creeping, what's the name of this little green succulent? It's a succulent. So I don't know if I'm crowding this English daisy, but it needs some friends. It's very sad looking. And I'll top it up with some more corn mix. Put some small release, so continuous release, Proven Winners fertilizer, and it should be good to go. So now this looks watered my Meyer lemon tree, which I'm so happy about. You can tell that it's a little bit of a crooked stalk, and they're pretty fine, so it does need that stake in there. But I think as it starts to seek the light at the top of the greenhouse, it will start to grow nice and straight. I did end up putting my creeping thyme. I only had 3 little containers. Thyme magic carpet, I should call it. Put them in here. So that should serve as a nice little ground cover. I just watered it, so it looks like they got a little bit drowned. And one over here. So that just, and then I put some plant tone in here as well to help the root system of the lemon tree. Just trying to shake out some of this soil from the thyme. So that will be nice, a nice addition, feature to the greenhouse. And my English daisy here, I planted the ageratum beside it, and that small little potato vine, and that creeping, the little succulent there. So I have 3 ageratum mixed around the English daisy and the sweet potato vine to spill over. We do have some, it looks like this is one of the daylilies from the front yard that I salvaged when I pulled out most of them from the front bed, and the looks like some cosmos seeds planted around there. Maybe they just flew in there, I don't know. It's funny that they're just in the front, not in the back. So yeah, sometimes when you have these leftover plastic containers from when you buy annuals, you can reuse them to when you're repotting or pulling perennials out of the ground, or you have some extra seed. I just pop them in there. I call this my holding zone, my holding potting zone. More the seed there, snapdragons I mentioned. So here I planted the alyssum around the standard boxwood. I think that'll be really nice. There's some white ones and some royal carpet in there. And I'm just going to put some of this continuous release plant food around there as well. So there's some of the pansies that grew from seed that hopefully will be budding out soon. They were I was using this potting bench to do the hardware for the greenhouse, laying it across here over the weekend. So I put some back on here. So there's the strawberries that I'm going to put in hanging baskets inside the greenhouse that I ordered from Proven Winners Direct. Excited about those. There's some Cosmo seeds growing in there. This is the Dalmatian Peach Digitalis. I've got to find a spot for that in the garden because I think my raised beds aren't going to be ready for a couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe they'll be okay in there. They're in these tall or long rooted containers, so they might be okay. They're getting a little yellow, so I think I need to feed that with some of that grow liquid fertilizer I've been doing for my seedlings. I just pulled out some bulbs out of there. There's the alyssum royal carpet and the other standard. So I think lastly I'm going to work on these containers here with the tulips in them. Here I am pulling the bulbs out of the pot that I am putting all of the bulbs into this paper bag. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like. When you pull them up, you need to kind of dig in pretty deep. I used my hori or Japanese knife that I notice everyone here in America calls hori hori. Back in Canada, we just call it a Japanese knife. I've had this one, gosh, from Lee Valley for over 20 years. And it's withstood the test of time. Not as sharp as it used to be, but I love this knife. I use it for weeding, and I used it to dig out the bulbs because when I tried pulling it by hand, I ended up breaking some of the stalks or the leaves, which, you know, for the most part, they're somewhat dried up, so the nutrients have hopefully made it down into the bulb. But for now, as I pull them out, you know, you've got a lot of roots there. I'm just shaking off all of the excess dirt and leaving the stalk on if it's still attached. This one is no longer, so I'm gonna throw that away, but I'm gonna keep the bulb, clean out all that, and in this paper bag with the other leaves, and keep them like that. The reason you take the dirt off is because there's still some moisture in there, and you really want your bulbs to dry up but still stay cool. So there's a lot of soil in here that I'm gonna separate as they all clump together. I'm gonna need to give myself a little manicure before going out tonight. Gosh. So that's pretty good. Roots are intact. I imagine that by fall these roots will probably be all dried up. So throwing them all in there. And I've labeled each bag. These were yellow tulips. I think they were. I'm gonna have to look back at my pictures, but yeah, I believe so. These were pure yellow. And then the other bag from those tulips there, those were my favorites. They were like yellow with stripes of orangey red, and then the grape hyacinths were there, and I'll probably put them all together in one bag. And that way in the fall I can decide whether I want to mix all my tulips together or do I want to, you know, separate them in clumps. But they will get planted in the ground, and cross our fingers they will come back in the spring, because we do have nice cool temperatures in the fall and winter. We're in zone 5B, so we go down to -20 over the winter. And tulips and bulbs generally need a cooling period. So it's pretty good. Throw it in there. And then I'm going to go through and sort of dig through here, pull up any of these excess roots, plant some annuals that I have from seed. Actually, I have this one Proven Winners white geranium that I'll put in the middle. And as I mentioned, it's kind of small in comparison to the double geranium over there from Costco. So I'm going to move this pot once I plant it to underneath the tree, the crabapple tree in the front bed, and bring the other one over. So I'm just going to continue and then show you what it looks like in the end. Okay, so I have completed my containers for the day. I pulled out the last of the tulip bulbs that were in this round container and put them in a paper bag with the grape hyacinths and the tulips. I don't know if you recall previous videos. This pot had beautiful yellow tulips with striped orangey red streaks and little blue hyacinths surrounding the pot. It was absolutely gorgeous. So today I planted Supertunia Vista Jazzberry and Supertunia Mini Vista White. These need full to part sun. They grow 12 to 24 inches tall. They are an annual, so these should grow and puff out really well. From what I've heard and seen on other YouTube channels, the Supertunia Vista just explodes into an amazing mound of color. So I think that'll look really nice next to the blue containers with just the simple white geraniums with some seed growing around there. I'm not sure if they will come up, but I do have some daisies, African daisies, white daisies with blue centers growing in there, so we'll see. The lawn looks beautiful. Eddie's roaming around here, and over here I pulled the container of geraniums that were under my front crabapple tree on the front lawn, or the front yard there. So I pulled it here so that now it's symmetrical. I took out the hanging basket that was temporarily in this iron basket here. I really love that. I used to have that container with similar ones in my garden back in Canada. In fact, when I had an art gallery years ago, I used to sell those. So anyway, I love having things from the past. And those two clay pots on the left and right, I picked those up I think in December, January, from Facebook Marketplace, from a local place, a local residence. And here are my sweet peas growing in this tall round container with the obelisk. And the hanging basket has moved temporarily over here, just to remind me that soon I will be able to hang my baskets. So that will hang on that side wall with my strawberries in hanging baskets on either side. So there are my my pansies that I grew from seed, and my alyssum growing from seed that will hopefully bloom soon. I've reduced my hardening off plants, seedlings that are sitting here, so I've gotten rid of a few. I still need to plant out and find a place for my digitalis foxglove and my status, which I don't think that looks normal. Very red, I don't know. But anyway, just stepping back, this is my potting bench area, my working area. That's on the side of the garage with my lemon tree that I just planted. That will go into the greenhouse. But just to pan here, this is the other side of our kitchen, actually. So this walkway comes from the garage and takes you into our greenhouse. So thank you for joining me today on this little mini projects of planting out containers. I'm really happy with them, and I hope you get to enjoy the rest of your day and your week in the garden. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Eddie, say goodbye. Eddie, say goodbye. Nope, he's busy. Want to say goodbye, Eddie? What do you have to say, Eddie? Say I'm getting a haircut. But for now, we'll see you on the next video. Bye now.